Check, 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 check. Hello. This video is inspired by the legendary YouTuber Rick Mamana, whose channel I've been watching for, I think, 9 years, going on a decade. It's a small YouTube channel with this man.
Hi. Today I'm going to make pork chops.
And his wife. And they just make food, mostly.
Peas or corn, whatever you like. But I think we're going to have them as a sandwich.
They also do like unboxings and kitchen gadget reviews, and I find their content just so chill and relaxing, and enjoyable to watch. There's an X factor to it that I cannot put my finger on. I cannot possibly explain it, but I get envious when I watch it, because it's like, why can't I be you? Rick, why can't I be you? But I also have to make some chicken that I'm not intending to eat right now, but it needs to be made, otherwise it's gonna go bad. So we're here tonight to make some basically Indian chicken. Here's the chicken in question. You can't see it because there's just no light in this kitchen, by the way. I can't find the cord for my panel light, and so I have this tiny light that is not gonna do what I need it to do. We're gonna be making some chicken. I'm a big Indian food fan. I find it to be such a delicious and fantastic food. It is simple in the terms of its ingredients. I mean, it's mostly just spices, but I mean, it's just very expensive. And you think, oh, why is it so expensive? It's just chicken and spices. But you know, ingredients is not everything. There is obviously a skill involved with making Indian food, because even though I have just resorted to making the sort of like, I don't know, I guess you could call it store-bought version of it. It's not the same, it's good, but it's not the same as when you go to a restaurant. And I don't know exactly what it is that they do. I'm assuming it's just something that takes a lot of time. And I just don't have that time and that know-how. So I just make it the store-bought way, and I find it to be pretty enjoyable. It's very easy. If you're a fan of Indian food, but you're not on the train of this store-bought method, well, hopefully today I can enlighten you a little bit, and we'll get to that in a moment. But first, I'm just gonna cut up this chicken breast into small cubes, essentially, or just more manageable small pieces that will then go into our skillet. I'm also I'm a huge fan, if you don't know this about me, I'm a huge fan of spicy food. And Indian food for a long time in my life was like peak spicy, right? It was so hot. But then I started to enter the world of hot sauce and hot wings. And very quickly, my spice tolerance rocketed past what any Indian food restaurant seems to be able to deliver. There was I think it's called Indian Palace in Manchester, right on Elm Street there. When we lived in Manchester, we used to order Indian food from them all the time. I mean, all the time. Like, there's a period where we're getting them once, sometimes even twice a week. It was a ridiculous addiction. I would be lying if I said I wasn't also somewhat in it for the naan, but mostly I would order it, and every time I'd call, I'm like, please make it the extra spiciest that you possibly can. And one day I was fed up. I was like, give me all you got. And I told the guy, I was like, give it to me extra, extra, extra spicy, right? And it was insane. It was like one of the most insane experiences. It's almost like, if you know, there's a certain level of spice when you reach where it starts to get so hot that it almost feels like drug inducing. You know, you're almost like hallucinating from how much heat you're dealing with, because your body's just kicking into absolute, I don't know, dopamine overdrive or whatever. You know, it's trying to make you feel better. You're basically, I guess, poisoning yourself probably in a way. Anyways, but that's what I want. You know, that's the extreme thing. And it's like a drug where you chase that dragon. And so I was like, that was crazy. And so every other time that we ordered from that restaurant, I would call and I would be like, can you make it extra, extra, extra spicy? Like give me all you got. Literally, I would tell the guys over the phone, I'd be like, I need you to mess me up. But they could never do it again. They could never bottle that lightning. I remember seeing on the receipt, the amount of extras that was listed under spicy on the receipt would get so ridiculous, but I swear to God, they maxed out. Somebody must have made a mistake that day when they made my food. Like, oops, all the spice went in. And I could never get him to do it again, which was really disappointing. So anyways, needless to say, that has never been my tipping point. I am a big fan of Buffalo Wild Wings, not because I think like their wings are that insane. I think they just make really solid wings and they're really predictable, because most wing places, it's either they have good wings and bad hot sauce, or they have good hot sauce and bad wings, and Buffalo Wild Wings seems to really fall right in the middle. But really where they excel is they have very hot sauces. Mainly their wild sauce, which is my go-to. That one's pretty spicy. It goes pretty hard. But the problem is again, spice tolerance is a tolerance, and my spice tolerance is so high now where I get the wild wings, and then I also have to get a side of wild sauce that I can just dip my wings in, because they cannot sauce it enough. Now, you might be thinking, if you're familiar with Buffalo Wild Wings, you might be thinking, Keller, have you ever tried the Blazing Challenge? Yes, but here's the thing. There is a level, there is a ceiling where it gets so hot that it no longer becomes flavorful. It just becomes like YouTube challenge level, is what I call it. And that's what the Blazing Challenge is. It's like, you go from whatever their second, like their super hot sauce to the wild sauce is like a factor of 2 or 3, right? It's 2 or 3 times hotter than the last sauce. But then you go to the Blazing, and it's like 100 times hotter. I've done it a few where I've just gotten a sample cup and I've dipped some French fries in it. And it's crazy. It's like, it's not enjoyable. It's not something that you could like go through. It's literally so hot. It's designed to be a challenge. And I'm not there. I don't want to ever be at that level, but it's like, there's gotta be a hot sauce for someone like me where I want it like crazy. I want it as hot as you can get it, but I still want it to be like tasteful. Like I still want it to have a flavor to it, right? I don't think what I'm asking is that insane, but maybe I'm just relegating myself to a smaller and smaller portion of the population where, I don't know, maybe I just need to take a break from hot sauce for a while. That's kind of the conclusion I think I'm coming to a little bit more these days. Now this is gonna spit because this is way too hot. I shouldn't have had it so high while I was cutting that chicken. Let me let that kind of chill out for a second. And in the meantime, we have, the other one is just a hot curry spice paste. So we'll be making spicy vindaloo. I wish I had some light in this kitchen, that would be great. But this is patax. I don't know how to say that, but spicy vindaloo simmer sauce. You can see the three chili peppers there. That's the other thing. You go to restaurants and they'll put like 10 chili peppers next to something. And people who like spicy food, who aren't even into the spicy food thing, will probably also agree with this. It's never that hot. They're always being so dramatic with the level of peppers that they put next to the label. It's like, get ready, this is gonna blow your mind. But it's like, I don't know. It's just ridiculous. Like I remember the Angry Whopper. Does anyone remember the Angry Whopper from Burger King that came out like, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 years ago? That thing was a joke. Like, don't get me wrong, it had a kick to it for sure. It was not spicy, but compared to the commercials with like the intense marketing language they were using, it did not even come close to living up to the hype. It was kind of ridiculous. All right. So we're gonna let this chicken do its thing for a moment. I'm essentially just browning it, for the lack of a better term. I'm just waiting for it to kind of become golden brown, and then we're gonna add the sauce and we're gonna let it simmer. So we'll take a short commercial break here. There we go, that's the final result of where we want the chicken at. And I know what you're thinking, wow, that looks like some boring chicken, and it absolutely is, but we're gonna spice it up, quite literally. So again, now that we have some better light here, this is Spicy Vindaloo by that brand that I can't pronounce. It's very good. They have many versions of this. I mean, it's not as good as like an Indian restaurant, don't get me wrong, but it does the trick. So we're just gonna pour that in. Oh yeah. Oh, and immediately it just smells like you gotta be looking over your shoulder for a certain order. It immediately smells delicious. All right, we're gonna let that kind of come to a boil, and then it's gonna simmer for 15 minutes, but hold on. This is the trade secret right here. This is what they don't teach you at culinary school. This is what you just have to learn this on the streets. That same brand makes something called hot curry spice paste. Now there is a recipe on the back here that you can just basically make your own simmer sauce out of this. This is the better value because just a dab will do ya. It's just very concentrated version of that. And I do prefer it, however, I'm just gonna take 1 spoon, right? You gotta be careful here. It's gonna be, choose your own adventure. And just kind of toss that in. Little chunky versions of it. And we're just gonna kind of mash it around, mix it around. And that I think just gives it a little more full-bodied flavor, a little less watered down. Makes it a little bit more for the pros, a little less plebeian. That's just my take. Now, you also might be interested in throwing about a half an onion in here. I've done that before. That really enhances the flavor. I've seen where on Reddit people have suggested like doing some diced tomatoes in there as well, which is what part of the recipe on the back of the spice paste asks for, is some tomatoes. You might also want to throw some garlic in there just for a little textured fun with your friends. But we'll turn that down and we'll just let that simmer for 15 minutes. And I'll come back and I'll share with you the final product. This is really only for the industry professionals. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, man. Concentrated flavor. We're nearing the end here of the simmer. I like to leave a little bit goopy. You can simmer this out so it's just more like of a, less sauce, but I like to keep some of the sauce in here. And it is very good the next day, arguably better, because it sort of marinates the chicken. That's my uneducated thesis. It's like such cinematic lighting because it's one bright light. So that's pretty much it. I'm gonna take this off the heat, let it cool, and with this, I would typically make a giant pot of rice, which is what I plan to do with it tomorrow. We've also done veggies, so like broccoli, bell pepper, whatever else. This is chicken. You can do it with beef. I really would like to do it with lamb sometime. But this was like the go-to that I was making a ton this fall. But then I had to take a little bit of a break because I was getting a little sick of it. Honestly, I was getting kind of sick of chicken just across the board, because when you're on sort of a weight loss journey, but you're trying to keep your diet high protein, as you might know, you're eating nothing but chicken, unless you just go, whey protein or some hidden mystical vegetarian route, which I applaud, but I don't know how to do it. So hopefully that was something for you. Let me try one bite of my masterpiece. Don't mind Sam in the background. It looks like I'm blowing on your head. Oh, it's perfection. It's so good. Sam has requested a piece. It's the bite cam. Thoughts?
It's good. It's really good.
That's all. It's good.
It's really good.
I slave over this and all you can say is it's good?
I always...
I'm just kidding.